Does that work? Wait, okay, that works. Hold on, let me... Test on. Does that work? Okay, aha, there we go. Sorry, I wanted to... Let's try this again. Well, look what the storm blew in. What are you doing awake, Bean? I thought you were sleeping. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. It's a voice mod's fault, really, but... Which I hardly use, so I don't even know if I should, like, it's like a failure point that I probably shouldn't worry about, but, you know, here we are. But yes, thank you for letting me know. I would have been lost without you. Anyway, as I was saying before my audio wasn't working, we need to come up with lore for each of these creatures, and then Moth needs a name. Well, I didn't want you crying in a corner, so I stayed up. You fiend. Well, I appreciate it. I would have had to beg you some more. Please, 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 please. Please don't. But it was funny. But yeah. Well, Bean, thank you for being here. I beg you not... Wait. I beg you... I was gonna say, excuse me? I must be reading this wrong. I beg you not to beg me. I can't cope. That's fair. That was very different meanings. LMFAO, oops. That's funny. That's funny, Bean. Lol. Yeah. So we've got some work to do. It either take like 4 seconds or like 4 hours. Runs fast toward the hills. Run away! I bought myself a fidget spinner. I know that's kind of cringe, but I wanted a desk toy to play around with. It's kind of a cool one though. It's got like gears on it. So I'm like fitting, but that it's cringe because am I kind of cringe? It's fair. You know, I'm just gonna accept it even if that's not what you meant. Anyway, I like fidget with stuff on my desk too much, and like I was just like playing around with my like cat nail clippers, and I'm like, I can't be doing that, you know? So, but it has to be here because she will only let me cut her nails at random times, so, or like one nail at a time rather. So, you know, here we are. That's exactly what I meant. Good. I'm glad. You know, you're right. What can I say, Beam? When you're right, you're right. Yeah. So we need to come up with a name for our moth temptress creature, demon, succubus, something or other, whatever she is. Don't want to be banned for hate, hates peach. True. True. Yeah, you can't pull a Maximus. Yo, Anonymous, what's up? How you doing today? Or tonight, whatever you want to call it. My music, I think, is loud on my end. It's probably fine on your end. There we go. But yeah, we got some lore to come up with, and we've got a name to come up with. Oh gosh, the void that is the school bus. I feel like to anyone else, that statement makes 0 sense. That sentence makes sense to like 2 to 3 people. And no one else will ever know. Where are he at anyway? I mean, it's like 6 in the morning for him or something. No, like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. It might also be that late for you. You're pretty late. It's around the same time though. I think he's close to your time zone. Maybe like an hour later. I don't know. I don't know what time it is for you. I know it's late though. That's all I know. What are you even doing up so late, Bean? I know you said you're... Well, I guess it's the weekend, right? So that's fair. You can be here. I also was being annoying, so, you know. Anyway. Supporting my friend, or so I thought. Fair. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being here, as always, Bean. Your presence is appreciated. What do you guys think of the more zoomed out camera? Or should I be more zoomed in? I accidentally zoomed it out, but I think it looks interesting. You get to see more of my cool stuff. And my couch, I guess. Anyway. I'm kind of like procrastinating. My brain has been like fried the past like week. I don't know. I guess like the most productive thing I've done all week was like last stream where I got, you know, 3 arts done. Star of the show, the couch, true. And the smiley face pillow. Can't forget that. Kind of scrunched into the corner though. Kind of needs a little, it needs to be unscrunched, you know? There we go. He's all better now. That pillow is like almost as old as I am. It's probably like I got it when I was very young. It's probably like 25-year-old pillow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of procrastinating. I'm just yapping. Yeah, I've been just been a little bit struggling to come up with content, you know? I'm trying to do, I've talked about this like multiple times. I'm trying to do a devlog on story. Scrunch in the corner. Wait, scrunch in the corner being old. Same, to be honest. You or me? I feel it. Sometimes you're just scrunched in the corner, you know? I don't even know why I'm opening Photoshop. I think I was gonna pull up the card art in its full glory. I don't know why it keeps opening on the wrong screen. Yeah, there we go. Got our full moth lady. I don't know if she's scary enough. She kind of just looks like, I don't know. I feel like she's not that scary, but that's okay. And then we got the Death Rattler. That one turned out cool. And then little Scorpion Boy. The Aractus. Oh, you know what? I probably can turn back on the old toggles. I can be bald again. My hair isn't my head isn't just whatever. What is it called? Peeling from freaking sunburn. So we're good now. We're so back, you know? Anyway, yeah, let's actually get some work done. Let's try at least. We'll give it our darndest. Okay, Moth Lady. What do we got? We're not doing this. Neither of these. Well, you know, we can just leave it. This is a brainstorming document. Let's do this here. I do like the idea of using like a moth to a flame as somewhere in the her lore line. Loreline. That's her name, Lorelei. No, I'm just kidding. Death Rattler. Oops. Is it? Yeah, it's T's. For some reason, I couldn't. My brain wasn't understanding if it was rattle or raddle. Rattle or raddle. I don't know. Sometimes English is hard. Cinderbella. It's fun. I don't think it works, but it doesn't work with our naming scheme for sure. Cause like a name isn't quite right, right? Bell. Taco Bell. Its name. Sorry, an eyelash is getting in my eye. Wow. Moth Lady is called Taco Bell. I'm here for it. Good. Yeah, I guess Bell, the E isn't Cinderbell. Yeah, the E isn't pronounced in Bell. Like, why? Why is it not pronounced? Why English? It's not even English though, right? That's like French or something. That was a decent, what are you on about? Like Bella? Like the E... Never mind. I don't care anymore. Why is it B-E-L-L-E? Why is there the E at the end is what I'm on about. Cinderbell is kind of cool. I don't know if it quite makes sense. I mean, I guess she's got like fiery eyes, right? That's kind of cool. Because you said bell of the ball, you'd think an actual bell. Yeah, but like... That's dumb because there's plenty of other words that aren't like that, you know? Like taco ball. Teco ball. Because like the word lead and lead are the same word, but you usually don't get that confused. I don't know. I feel like I feel like that's probably not why. It's probably an Old English thing where the E's kind of disappeared. Like how old was spelled with an E, the oldie, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? It's probably Old English stuff, I would think. Yeah. So here we are. I'm gonna write it down though. The thing is, usually like these are like pretty much all the names are like titles, right? They're all sort of Glow Widow. Okay. Didn't I literally tell you that English is fucked earlier? Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. I like the Glow Widow. I definitely like Widow for sure. I'm not 100% sold on Glow, but I'm trying to think. What are some like moth names? Like moth words. I literally just asked ChatGPT, give me moth words. Moonlight Widow is kind of cool. Because yeah, the idea is like, so like lore wise, she's basically like attracts you in and then brainwashes you, more or less, right? That's kind of like the idea, because when you fight her, you end up fighting each other is the goal, or is how the mechanics work. So I think the lore should probably work in a similar fashion, right? Which I think Widow is a good, not the that's like the right vibe, right? Sorry, I was saying it's not the right vibe, but it is the right vibe. I'm just looking at some other words. Silk moth. Molting. Lady lure. I like that too. I feel like that might also imply that she lures ladies, but I mean, maybe she does. You never know. What are some types of moths? I think we're getting close. I'm treading softly here. I don't want to get school bussed. Just turn it into a freaking a verb. The rosy maple moth. Hummingbird moth, tiger moth. It's like you're just naming moths after other creatures. Yeah, I like kind of where you're going, where you're at. Lady Lure. Silk Flame Siren. That's okay, that's sick. Okay, I like that one. Yeah, that's cool. Bean, how do you come up with this stuff? Are you cool like that, you know? Take 5% royalties. Okay. That's a cool name. I like that. Yeah, you nailed it. That was good. By that I mean Luna Pictures. Deal. 100%. Here. Hold. 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 I'm trying to find. Hold. Just hold. Everybody hold. Everybody chill. Everybody calm down. Trying to find one of my favorite pictures of Luna. I'm also not trying to do a foot reveal because my foot is in this picture. I am calm. Now you're not. Look at this little baby. This is when she was like, like the day after I found her. Look how small. There's a little blip there too, I think. Feet pics for sale. Look how small. That's like a normal sized chair. Well, sort of, but you know. This little baby. There you go. Little baby. Oh wait, is this the one that? No, hold on. Hold on, we'll do one more good one. This is in payment for the this is in payment for whatever. There you go. I think it was 10% royalties, but I'll take it. Well, here's another 10%. She's fighting. He's fighting Dreadnought, the kitten eater. Anyway. That would make an epic drawing, it would. That'd be pretty cute. Anyway. Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be a fun piece to do. Alright, we landed on Silk Flame Siren. I like that. What lore do we want to do first? Do we want to let's just stick with her for now. We're already talking about her. Her is in the drawing and not Luna. Though I really need to keep thinking about putting Luna in all my games, and I keep forgetting, you know? I can use that picture with her mouth like super open and then make her a monster. Real House Moth in Flame City. Bean, we've lost it. I've never had it. That's fair. Yeah, me neither. Okay, what's her story? She entices people in. I can't type right now, apparently. I cleaned my keyboard. That was a big accomplishment for today. But you thought you were going to be productive without me here today, huh? Honestly, I kind of thought I wasn't going to be productive. And getting a name is already productive, so ha. Get dunked on, fool. Entices people in and corrupts them to fight each other. That's about it. That's her story. Got him? Yeah. Yep. You got, sir. She draws him in like a moth to a flame. I feel like that needs to be like the second sentence, right? I'm not a sir. Okay. I'm a lord. Yes, my lord. Yes, me lord. Yes, yes, me lord. Anyway. Yes, sire. Oh no. Should I be doing this on the bigger text here? I feel like it's better for viewing purposes. I never actually wrote this down. Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna do here. Not that. Not what? I'm lost is what you're saying. What are you even saying, Bean? My brain desperately trying to fall asleep. Beast music. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, I do that. Bean, you don't have to be here, you know? You could go sleep. I do appreciate you being here. Don't get me wrong. But if you need sleep, you need sleep. It's probably like, what, 2 in the morning? No mom. Okay. Fine, be that way. Straussman and I'm trying to get like the essence of the thing. And then maybe like westernitize it. Steals their flame? Interesting. What if it's like she draws them into a... Draws them in like a moth to a flame, then snuffs it out. Snuffs. Doesn't quite make sense. Snuffs. S-N-U. Snuffs it out. It's like kinda... Steals a spark from the barrel of their shotguns or something. Yeah. I like where you're headed. I like you can tell that you're sleepy because you added the or something at the end. Draws them in like a flame to a moth, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. You say just like a moth to flame. It's, yeah, saying that they're killing the moth. Like a flame to a moth. You can't say it backwards. It doesn't work, does it? Boom, 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 boom. I know this playlist way too well. That's the next song that's coming up. Yeah, I don't know if like a moth to a flame is kind of weird to say if she is a moth, right? Yeah, the song you're really not gonna like isn't like a few songs. It's gonna just be like blast you awake. I can't remember which one it is. Maybe it was already the one that played. No, I thought it was like toward the end. I think it might be the next one, or two from that maybe. There's one that's like goes really hard. All right, we're doing the dreaded hated. We're asking ChatGPT a little bit just to get some more ideas. I'm really blanking here. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're getting close to, I say we're getting close to 100 followers. We're at 90, right? It feels cool. I'm thinking, me too. Which is not really the best stream content, just someone here sitting thinking, you know? I'm kind of, I guess, trying to figure out, like, how she entices people, right? Like, lore-wise, like, does she disguise herself as a human and then, like, lures people in that way? Is she just, like, more of a, like, more of just, like, a presence that will, like, corrupt you, like, you know, more spiritual, right? How is she doing that, right? I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, but it's a good question to... Or is she, like, more like your typical siren, right? Like, song or music or something, or not music, or, like, voice or whatever, right? Kind of like Lure of the Glow with nowhere to go. She spins your mind and then lets it go. Lure of the Glow with nowhere to go. No way, I just rhymed go twice. You're good. Runner likes the rhymes. You rhymed go with go. I really do. I think that's cool. It's cool you like rhymes. Bean, are you a musician? Do you do music? Yeah, Lure of the Glow, nowhere to go, or silken tongue will burn you slow. Lure of the Glow, nowhere to go. Yes, I like music. I wish I had any sort of, like, musical training. I don't want to say talent because I have no idea, right? Because I've never tried. But I do want to, like, make some music. I have like a piano, like a keyboard thing that I can plug into my computer, and I got FL Studios to like to make a song, and then I just never did it. I'm trying to think what I think of your rhyme. Lure of the glow. Nowhere to go. Let's workshop it a little bit. Just gonna copy your words. $7:50 p.m. Runner Bean 36. Lure of the glow. What if it's Lure of the Soul? I don't think that's like a true rhyme, but Lure of the Soul. I don't know. Yeah. See, I was like I said, this is either gonna take like 5 minutes where I just like something and it's written down, or it's gonna be like an hour or 2 or 3. Because I'm being picky. I don't think my issue was necessarily Embers. That makes no sense. No, I think it works. Well, yeah, I guess it doesn't really make sense. I think my problem is with like the first half. I don't know what it means either, right? Lure of the glow. Like obviously, like you're drawn. I guess it's like drawn into the like the light, right? And then you're trapped. I guess that makes sense. Oh, right, you hate all of it. Okay. Don't be like that. No, I more like the other part. I like the second part. Her southern tongue will burn you slow. That makes more although I guess like I'm not sure yeah, I don't know. Maybe I hate all of it, Bean. I don't hate all of it. I'm just unsure about it because I feel like I feel like I don't have a full grasp on like her concept is part of it, right? Like I feel like she's corrupting people and turning them against each other, right? Is kind of the lore here. Because she's not really killing you, right? I think that's where I'm that's where my issue lies, right? She's making you kill each other. All right, we got some like better ones here now that I've honed in on ChatGPT here. Like, she don't kill them herself. She whispers in their ears and tell they do the dirty work for her, right? Like, that feels a little bit off, but she lights the fuse, you pull the trigger. I like that. All right, we're cooking. I feel like we could maybe give it a little more substance. Like, that feels like the that feels like the punchline to like another sentence, right? I feel like most of these are like 2 sentences long. This feels like we need more, but let me see. Let me think if I can think more. Turns good man cool, savage can focus. All she needs is a smile and a spark. Which is, you know. Like something like she gives promises of something, right? And then man, I tell you, I'm like creatively drained. I've got nothing in the tank right now. Nope. I mean, nope. Stop. Okay. She'll let the fuse, you'll pull the trigger. All right, let me just write a sentence and then see how I feel about it. Because I don't think it's not... She'll... She'll steal your soul, she makes you trade with it. I think that's sort of the wrong direction. She makes you sure you just makes you sure you trade it. I wrote she'll whisper sweet promises to get you to pull the trigger. To get you to pull the trigger for her, I guess. But it's not like really... It's not really like a actual sentence. It's just kind of like brainstorming here. Like, what sort of things do I want here? Like, the closest thing ChatGPT is giving me, I would say... And I don't think it's quite right either. Turns good men cruel and kinfolk savage. All she needs is a smile and a spark. It's not quite right, but... Food. Good. All right, I've combined a few things here. She'll turn good men against each other. All she needs is a smile. She'll light the fuse. You'll pull the trigger. I'm using your thing there. I feel like that... It's kind of the vibe, right? That might be, like, too repetitive. I don't know. I guess this one's decent too, right? Whispers lie so pretty they sound like the truth. Next thing you know, you're holding a knife to your brother's throat. I feel like it's too, like, maybe on the nose, but... What B-phone doing? Nothing. Nothing important. Oh, God. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. My brain's cooked right now. I mean, maybe I just go back to the... What if we actually, like, subvert the, like... Streamer mode not on? That's weird. What if we subvert the, like, moth to a flame thing? She may look like a moth, but, No, because then we kind of get back toward the like it not actually explaining what's happening, right? She may look like the moth, but like this is what my thinking was, but I don't know if I'm gonna go with this. She may look like a moth, but she's really the flame. Right? That kind of like idea. I don't know, man. I am like moths to flame, they lose their way. Drawn to promises, they lead astray. She spins a web of light and lies, then watches men betray their ties. All right, Bean, you cooked. Let's hope it's not too long. Nope. Get featured, nerd. Like moths to flames, they lose their way, drawn to promises that led astray. She spins a web of light and lies, and watches men betray their ties. You get featured, nerd. Oh, we're about to have an ad break. What if we do, instead of a web, her silk? She spins her silk, because that's more of a moth thing. But other than that, I guess, do they have webs? Moths don't really have a web, do they? Moth web. Is it called a web? I guess it still spins a thread. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. What are we doing? I like it, Bean. I like how like half your quotes are just your like at least 3 of your rhymes have gotten in here. Cool. I kind of like how the game is kind of like feels a bit like community created, you know? I like that. Why does this look? Stop it. I hope it's not too long. Nope, it's not. Okay, we're gonna take a few minute break. Hopefully that clears my head and we can finish the rest of these soon. Ad is starting right meow. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
If you don't mind, just off the top of your heads, would you mind like telling us what your favorite and least favorite part of playing this was?
I'll be honest, and I hate to say this, but I don't think there was a single thing I enjoyed.
My friend Kyle and I made a game in 2 weeks for a competition.
I really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
As you can tell,
your,
it didn't go very well.
This is probably an
but
audio
what
nightmare
actually
hearing
went
me
wrong?
talk and
To get
me
into
talk,
that,
but,
let's start from the beginning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
As
you
I've
being
been
here,
trying
dude.
to get into more game development communities, I found myself stumbling into the homemade trading card game Discord server. And the coolest part about this server is that it hosted game jams, something that I usually thought was reserved for video games. For the uninitiated, a game jam is a competition where you have a set amount of time to make a game. Then you are given a prompt or theme to follow. Once the allotted time is over, the game is judged and you see who wins. Kind of like a 24-hour film festival or a hackathon if you're familiar with one of those. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the development of our Game Jam entry for the May 2024 HTCG LAN Jam, Armies Against Entropy. In preparation for this jam, I partnered up with my buddy Kyle. You may remember him from my first devlog of Soul. We made the original version together. Anyway, we decided the first thing to do was to look over the judging criteria, come up with a schedule, and divide up responsibilities. This all pretty much went out the window day one, so I don't know why I bothered telling you this, but let's get on with it. As I said, this jam was hosted by the Homemade Trading Card Game Discord community, and as with most jams, there was a theme to help keep everything fair and keep people from submitting projects they worked on for years or whatever. In this case, the theme was lands. For all you trading card game people, this was clearly very Magic the Gathering inspired. Upon hearing this, Kyle and I got a document together and started brainstorming ideas. This was pretty stream of consciousness, and we tried not to discount any ideas from the start. And while we didn't take all these ideas directly, a lot of them did help us come up with different mechanics for the game. So here's some of the ideas we came up with. Land is mana, basically like Magic the Gathering. I'll say this wasn't something we wanted to do, but it was worth putting out there because it's probably everyone's first thought. That said, our goal was to move away from this and defy any expectations. Land is a battle arena / cards you fight over. I'm pretty sure I've seen other games like this before. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen it. Basically, this would be a card that you play other cards on top of to battle. Then you get to claim the land if you succeed, which would then give you some sort of benefit or bring you closer to a win condition. A game like Stack Lands. The word lands made me think of the game Stack Lands. If you haven't played this game, I would definitely recommend it. This ended up being a pretty big inspiration for the game, so we'll get into that more a little bit later. Lands are spawner cards. I was originally thinking of Loop Hero when I thought of this idea, but we ended up kind of using a little bit of this concept, but not exactly from the idea that we wrote down. We'll get more into that later. So despite us saying we had 4 days to come up with a core idea on our schedule, we already had one day one. We liked the idea of something like Stacklands, a resource management game where you generate resources and battle monsters. We ignored the sort of survival aspect with the, exception of the battling monsters part. We also decided we wanted this game to be cooperative. We thought that it would work better for this sort of format and something more unique that we could bring to this jam. Kyle had work, so before starting this game in earnest, we did a bit of brainstorming and tried to expand upon this idea in the meantime. Here are the thoughts we came up with. The game was going to have one resource. While Stacklands or other resource management games usually have many resources to manage, we wanted to take a simpler approach. This is partly because we wanted the scope to be smaller, but also because we wanted the game to be as simple as possible. While a video game like Stacklands might be able to manage having players deal with nitty-gritty resources, a real physical card game doesn't really lend itself to that and can end up bogging the game down. To go along with this, we decided land would generate units. These units acted as both health and damage when placed onto cards. We had debated on whether or not these units would be different types of creatures and had different effects based on
enjoying the video. Check it out on YouTube on beatscreations.com. And by beatscreations.com, I mean Beats Creations. I do have a website, though. So there's also stuff on there. So huzzah. All right, we got 2 more to go. Let's see if I can even handle these. Yeah, for some reason the lore bits, I think it's partly because, like, I'm trying to put it in, like, an accent, right? Like, that feels difficult, right? Like, it's like I'm putting it in a dialect that it's hard for me to figure out. Although it doesn't necessarily have to be. Like, we have some of these that are like, that Bean has done that are very like poem-esque. But you could imagine that's like someone in lore doing that, but you can't really have them talking like, I don't know, it's just interesting. Let's just focus on the next ones, I suppose. I wonder if you can hear that. How loud is that? Not that loud, never mind. Kill the creature. Take 1 damage and gain 2 weapons. This needs... This needs 2 different names. Ugh. Because each one has like make an offering, kill the creature, kill the creature. I kind of don't like that because that's gonna even more block the art. Did 1 corruption to the participants. Should say each. Did 1 corrupt give 1 corruption to each participant of the other event in this multi-event. I mean, that's clearer. It's not less words though. Yeah, I can't really shorten that anymore. Maybe it's just like fight for her, fight against her, maybe. These all caps, are they? Not all caps, but what am I doing? Well, I guess the font is all caps anyway. Never mind. Doesn't really matter. I guess it is like a... It doesn't really matter. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if it just covers up the freaking art completely. It's kind of how it all works at this point, but that's not too bad. It would be nice if we could get it to just like 2 lines, but Well, we might be able to do that. What if we do, like... Deal 1 corruption to the participants of the... Participants... Deal 1 corruption to the participants fighting against her. Just want to make sure I wasn't losing my mind there. Now that we've added the term, we can make it shorter, which is kind of nice. There we go. Of course, let's do this. Messed up my formatting. I want this to be the other way around though. I kind of want this one to be here. Like the first one should be the right option and the other one should be the wrong option. In like sort of. Deal 1 corruption to the participants fighting for her. Deal 1 corruption to the participants fighting against her. We'll see how that works out. I feel like it might just be like, well, I guess that's got a punishment if you don't do it, right? So you may as well hurt each other for it. I guess if everyone participates in one event, no one actually gets hurt, but which is kind of interesting. If you all work for her or all work against her, then none of you actually get hurt. Kind of interesting. But it's like one of the few times that you get to damage each other, so it does feel more fun. Okay. There we go. That's cleared up. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that didn't refresh, but we'll get there. All right, back to not procrastinating about whatever. I also am tempted to change cost to minimum bet instead, because that technically makes more sense. I just realized the tabletop version of this game might be broken. Oh, here we are. Kill the creature, take 1 damage, gain 2 weapons. And then we got this one. All right, let's write some just ideas down. We're here. Okay, lore. So, giant, like, human-sized. It's probably larger than human-sized, like horse-sized scorpion. Made of cactus, essentially. And corruption. We're gonna need help. We're gonna need help here. I'm not even gonna lie. Let's see. In desert, ain't a scorpion. That's the desert's wrath made out of flesh and thorns. I kind of like that. In the water that can wash this thing clean. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess the one I like the most so far, just out of that. Although I don't like the format of like ain't just whatever, because then it's just like ain't. And that's like the only way like to southernify things. I guess I don't really know the lore of it. Like, what created this thing? Why is it like... Let's look at like similar ones. Like the Dust Devils, Molten Bones, Bloodshed, the Crown. This one kind of has more of a story. Tumbleweed Terror. I guess we had another poem, a bean poem. And the Dust Devil is actually a demon. Tumbleweed Terror we don't really have. It's just a thing. We don't have lore for it. But it's in like the same caliber of creature, right? Where it's like a weird hybrid sort of westerny abomination. I kind of like the idea of the Wrath of the Desert. Like, it's like... That's something. Wrath of those who died in the desert, their flesh turned to thorns and their souls to a monster. Them that died in waste didn't stay gone. Their skin grew spines and their hate grew legs. That's pretty good, actually. I think Thorns is still better. Thorns. There we go. Them that died out in the waste didn't stay gone. Their skin grew thorns and their hate grew legs. I like that. I don't know. Feels a little bit like, I don't know, it's always like weird using ChatGPT. I'm not like a writer, right? I probably should be a better one, and I am getting better for sure. Maybe not necessarily like flavorful writing. But more like, you know, essaying kind of stuff, right? Because with my YouTube videos, that's definitely helping. Something like this is like really difficult for me. And like, you obviously prompt it to eventually get a good idea. That's yours. Like, it's giving you, you know, the core idea you're looking for, but it's not necessarily like your words, right? Which feels a little bit bad. It feels like less like of my character, right? But it's interesting when it's like not something you could do on your own, because like a lot of these are either like something I used like prompted with like ChatGPT or something, or alternatively a lot of it is user or like you know, follower words, right? Like a lot of these are things y'all came up with, so it's just kind of interesting. Not totally sure how to feel about it, but you know, I mean, here we are. Oh, is that a kitten I hear? You want it in? Here, you want to say hi to stream? Say hi to stream. Say hi. Okay. Of course, now that she's in, she's going to want to get out because she's a cat, but you know. All right. Death Rattler. Okay, I didn't actually write whatever this, no, you stay. Hey, nope. I think she just likes playing with the door, honestly. Lord. Hey. No. No scratching at the door. You just hang out. Yeah, you wanted to be in here. Lore. Oh man, my brain's so cooked. We can do this. Demonic snake made of bone. I could think of something like I guess a little bit more to it. That will hurt others for a price. There could be something with like the rattling you're hearing isn't the snake, it's the bones, right? It's not like anything. That's just like an idea. Death Rattler. I don't know if I'd do lore stuff like this again. Arguably. Like if I worked on another game, I don't know how I feel about like little excerpts unless I am... I don't know, just like I feel like I haven't been comfortable with it the whole time, you know? I guess it's maybe because it's just like I feel very out of my depth. I don't know. It's weird. Don't strike without a deal. Oh, hi. You find this interesting? Interesting? Hmm? She's like just out of camera view. Hi. There you go. Maybe you see her fluffy tail. Oh, we saw it for half a second. And the next thing you know is enemies. Yeah. I don't like any of this. I don't even know if I like the rattling angle. Snake's bite won't just poison. Snake bite won't just poison you. I'm not really sold on that, but let's keep cooking. Do 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 do. Yeah, I guess it's venom, right? Not poison. Its fangs don't drip venom, it drips sin. Interesting. Here's Rattling. Man, it's a struggle today. This is, yeah, it's like I think like this is the last time I'll probably do this on stream if I'm doing it. It's just really not my comfort zone, and I feel like it just doesn't make for good content, you know. I think it was a worthwhile thing to do, and it's fun. Well, I've got one more to do, then I'm not touching it again. I could, in theory, put it on the corruption deck, but I really don't want to. And I also don't want to put more text on these. It's already too much. Part of me wants to just say, let me let that marinate while I design this a little bit better. But I'm unsure. I also need to find like a different font for this, you know. I like the idea of like it's venomous sin. I think that's kind of cool. Snake's venom is sin itself. If you hear a snake rattling, ain't from no tail. Better watch yourself because snake's venom is sin itself. Something like that. I think we're close. What you doing? You want to escape again? You feel trapped, get done? Alright. If you hear a rattle ain't come for no tail, best be wary, because that snake's venom is piercing. I like that. There we go. Good enough. I'm calling it. You want out? Okay, we'll let you out. Come on. Hey, you want in or out? Make you choose. In or out. Last chance. Yeah, so one of the things I'm thinking of doing, cost is okay on here, but here minimum bet might make more sense, or minimum God, what's the other word? I had another word. Because it's not really the cost, right? Wager. An ante. A mistake. I think wager was the... kind of like just minimum bet. I think it's just more clear, right? It's not necessarily... because an ante is like how much you have to... actually, yeah, maybe just ante, right? Because ante is like a... ante is a stake put in by a player in poker similar... games before receiving cards. Put an amount on as a poker similar games. It's not quite an ante, that's the problem. Right? Like it's this is the lowest bet you can place. But it's not like a... it like kinda is, kinda isn't. Starting bet, opening wager. Yeah, I mean, maybe I could do ante. Feels right. It's not really a... Oh man, I'm conflicted. Because like thematically anti sounds wrong, you know? We'll leave it for now. We'll see what other people think. I'm conflicted on that one. All right, let's look at this new creature. Looks good to me. Let's now that we have that, let's do a little bit. Let's see if we can find like a better font for... Let's just open the corruption cards first. Step 1, open corruption cards. We close to, yeah, 15 minutes till break number 2. I just want to try out some fonts, you know? Actually, not a bad font for the like normal text. I don't know if it's... Why is it not? Caps lock is on. Or it's not? Oh, right, that's how it works. Make this black and much larger. All right, this is how it currently looks, essentially. I'm thinking we could do a different font. I thought I had something more... like, I kind of want something like fiery looking, maybe like that kind of look. What font even is that? I think that might be one of the ones that I can't really read that well, right? It's nice, but it's not super readable. Is there... Okay, capital letters doesn't really help. I guess they're the same. This might be a better lore font, though. I kind of like that. I think this is one of the ones that I got in a pack. Question is, where did I put that? I think it's my documents. Yeah. Let's do this. Preview images. Oh, maybe it's not. Let's browse through a bunch of images real quick, huh? see if we can, you know, it might just make more sense to like do this and then do, I hate that this goes off screen. Why does it do that? It's the wrong thing anyway, but okay, it is extra large icons. I thought they could be larger than that. I mean, like, that's not horrible, but it's a little bit too, like, graffiti-esque. And... do we have that one downloaded? No. Okay, yeah, I did see this. I mean, that's not the worst. I kind of want to look at it on the card. Let's go to here. Let's go to here. Let's figure out where this is before I go crazy, though. I'm breaking everything. Let's just go ahead and paste that on my desktop. Probably needs to actually be this file. I think. Oh. Let's just see what it looks like. I think it looks cool, but maybe too... it looks too, like... doesn't look mean enough, right? I think this might be good for the, alternatively might be good for the text layers, or like for the flavor text. Like, what if we do this? Let's just open another tab. Dexterous layouts, not layouts, projects. Do we like that more for this? That can't be it. They do it here. I'm so lost. What did I just edit? That is not the right. Maybe I just didn't do it. Probably didn't do it right. We want flavor text. Definitely the right one. Control S. There we go. Oh, no. It's because it's italics. It's italicized. I think. Let's unitalicize it. See what it looks like. No, I hate it. Is that the font it was before? I don't think it was. It was we're just gonna do this to find out. Artifacts daughter. Interesting. Or I didn't read that right. That's okay. It's okay. We don't have to read everything right. There we go. Yeah, no, we're just gonna leave that as is. Malus. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like mouse is what it looks like. Okay, well that's not it. I don't think this is it either. It needs to be like sharp and kind of like gritty looking, right? Like the Unreal Tournament font. If anyone understands that reference. I guess it's the Unreal Engine, right? It's not actually any different. So people actually still notice that. I feel like, I guess Unreal Tournament's a newer game too, or there is a newer version of Unreal Tournament. I'm just used to like Unreal Tournament 2014, which was a baller game. I'm looking for something kind of fiery looking, you know? How far is this going down when I'm scrolling? We're just gonna go slowly. Dubstep, Dungeon Slayer. It's like a complete Dungeons and Dragons knockoff one, which I love. I need to blink. Also probably need to hydrate. This one maybe could be something. No. Giant robot. No. I mean, nah, it's too cute. Like, that could work. It's like kind of like the scratchy looking font I'm looking for, but it's too like, I don't know, it's too cheesy looking. This could maybe work. I think it's too bubbly still. But maybe? I don't know. I'll put it off to the side to think about. else we got? Could always look online too, but I just have this pack and it's free use for forever, so it's kind of nice. Ninja. Oh man, today's been a rough one for me. At least if you're trying to be focused here. So I apologize ahead of time. By ahead of time I mean currently. Got a lot of robot fonts. The problem is a lot of these fonts lean toward sci-fi and not, you know, other sort of feelings. That maybe. That's a solid maybe. Okay. Let's look at more of these in this area. They all seem somewhat decent. Maybe? It's worth trying. Too fun. It's very cute little ghost though. Too whatever. A lot of these are too not readable for a. I think that's too rounded as well. All right, let's just try these few. We'll install them real quick. We got Scribble Scrawl. Scribble. Show me Scribble Scrawl. Install. Done. Show me Scratches. Scratchies? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna do. Fine, we'll try it. I'm like, I don't think this is gonna be it, but Inkling. It's too. No, that's not gonna work. This one's not gonna work either. So let's try these two. I think I like this one better, but it's also too big. Let's do. I don't know. Does it look like too lame, right? Like it kind of looks. I mean, potentially we could do a different color, but. Maybe that's not horrible. Let's try the other one. I definitely like this one better, if anything, but it kind of just looks too, like, too, like, maybe post-apocalyptic or something, right? Like, it's not, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily scream like Western to me. I guess we'll try this one more time. This, what was it called? This one. Let's try it. I don't think I'm gonna like it, but we'll give it a shot. Sure, give me the italic version too. I don't know. Maybe? Only problem is it's actually gonna look more like this. Oh, that's okay. Maybe it's okay. Maybe that's fine. But, like, is it better than this? Oh, well, not that. Is it better than that? Oh, wait, no. Whoops. This just feels out of place, and I don't know why exactly. What if instead, now hear me out. Size 14. What's the font? Is it all 14 on these, or is it different? 14, 12 there. Could go as low as 11. What if we do this? Okay, there's not going to be flavor text. I've determined there's no flavor text on this. Let's go to 11. Let's change this to this color. Let's move it down a smidge. Take this. Okay, let's just take our largest font here. I lost track of where I am. Oh. I was thinking maybe this could be like much smaller and be here. Which could work if we decide to move the like icon up, but it's like, ugh. I don't love this having the glow on it. We'll see what we think. Oh wait. Yeah, I don't like that. It was worth a shot, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's fine as is. I just don't love it, you know? What if let's just do a test. Unfortunately, I don't think there's like a one-to-one comparison with font size and on dexterous and on here. I think it's like some weird font thing. Like, how do we feel if I hate how it works like that. Nope. Doesn't like just change the text box, it changes. You've got to be kidding me. What if instead I don't think that does that make it better? I kind of don't think so, actually. Maybe what we need is just the grunge layer that goes on top of the There was like a grunge layer we had on top of the other thing. Like, what if we just do this? Because I'm kind of struggling here to figure out what is going to look better. I mean, it's probably fine as is. I just think the text looks maybe too clean. So, I mean, maybe we try adding a new layer. We'll have it be everywhere. And then we'll go Blackridge. I don't know where it is. It's in BTB video. Like, we had a grunge layer. I don't think that looks good over the whole thing. But if we had a targeted one over the... over the text, maybe? We don't need these open anymore. I probably super passed my ad thing. Yeah, I did. I don't know, maybe it's fine. I think the effect could actually move up a smidge. I already have the grunge on here. That's funny. Yeah, I really don't know what to do here. I think my brain is just not... Doesn't know what to do anymore, you know? And we could do a new grunge layer. We could just try it. I think the problem is if I export this, I have to like solo it and then export it. Maybe it's better? I don't know. Problem is the card was never meant to be like, it was meant to be more of a card back than a something with text on it. Okay, I have another idea. Does it look empty without anything on top now, though? Sometimes not. All right, let's just try this. I hear a kitten again. I mean, I like that better. Can we... You know, all these have text, so let's just copy one of these. And put it in here. And then can we like top justify this? Did I already say that? No, I thought it. Yeah. Grunge is kind of off now, but I like that a lot better. Let's move it down just a smidge. I also think this could be larger. Okay. Move it down just a smidge. Maybe? I think it's weird when we get to oppressive because it's... Draw an event. I mean, I guess I could just do the scaling thing, right? Shrink. Maybe too much to shrink, but we'll see. I don't need these open either. Draw a second event. Why don't I get rid of this event is... It is treated. Right, second event. Right, second event treated as a multi-event. Our second event that is treated as a multi-event. Players take any detriment of events they don't participate in. I'm wondering if that's like obvious or not, but I feel like that might be obvious. I think it's good enough. I think that's better. Okay, well, that's the game. I think that's everything I wanted to change, and now it's just like small tweaks, just based on playthroughs and like things that don't make sense, right? It is a little quiet tonight, so I may end early. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I don't really know what else to work on, honestly. I could do stream improvement stuff or the rule book, but I don't know. That kitten? Let me take a 2-minute break and we'll decide what we're doing. If that might be ending, but it also might be doing a little bit more. We'll see. So I'll be right back.
If you don't mind, just off the top of your heads, would you mind like telling us what your favorite and least favorite part of playing this was?
I'll be honest, and I hate to say this, but I don't think there was a single thing I enjoyed.
My friend Kyle and I made a game in 2 weeks for a competition, and as you can tell, it didn't go very well. But what actually went wrong? To get into that, let's start from the beginning. As I've been trying to get into more game development communities, I found myself stumbling into the homemade trading card game Discord server. And the coolest part about this server is that it hosted game jams, something that I usually thought was reserved for video games. For the uninitiated, a game jam is a competition where you have a set amount of time to make a game. Then you are given a prompt or theme to follow. Once the allotted time is over, the game is judged and you see who wins. Kind of like a 24-hour film festival or a hackathon if you're familiar with one of those. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the development of our Game Jam entry for the May 2024 HTCG Land Jam, Armies Against Entropy. In preparation for this jam, I partnered up with my buddy Kyle. You may remember him from my first devlog of Soul. We made the original version together. Anyway, we decided the first thing to do was to look over the judging criteria, come up with a schedule, and divide up responsibilities. This all pretty much went out the window day one, so I don't know why I bothered telling you this, but let's get on with it. As I said, this jam was hosted by the Homemade Trading Card Game Discord community, and as with most jams, there was a theme to help keep everything fair and keep people from submitting projects they worked on for years or whatever. In this case, the theme was lands. For all you trading card game people, this was clearly very Magic the Gathering inspired. Upon hearing this, Kyle and I got a document together and started brainstorming ideas. This was pretty stream of consciousness, and we tried not to discount any ideas from the start. And while we didn't take all these ideas directly, a lot of them did help us come up with different mechanics for the game. So here's some of the ideas we came up with. Land is mana, basically like Magic the Gathering. I'll say this wasn't something we wanted to do, but it was worth putting out there because it's probably everyone's first thought. That said, our goal was to move away from this and defy any expectations. Land is a battle arena / cards you fight over. I'm pretty sure I've seen other games like this before. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen it. Basically, this would be a card that you play other cards on top of to battle. Then you get to claim the land if you succeed, which would then give you some sort of benefit or bring you closer to a win condition. A game like Stack Lands. The word lands made me think of the game Stack Lands. If you haven't played this game, I would definitely recommend it. This ended up being a pretty big inspiration for the game, so we'll get into that more a little bit later. Lands are spawner cards. I was originally thinking of loot.
Still don't know what I'm doing. But probably should just work on something for a little bit just to be productive, you know. Like it then. All right. Let's find something to do. Let's pull up our emotes maybe, or like our maybe we could even I was tempted to have like new subscribers be like when the no kids in. Hey. No, thank you. Please stop. Just try and attack my curtains. I was thinking of like new subs and stuff like that, or new followers to have like cards come up. It also sounds like a lot of work right now. Maybe I just draw. Maybe I just draw for a bit. Even if it's nothing important. Hey. Hey. You not? Thank you. Oh man, I'm struggling, dude. I feel like I should work because I haven't gotten much done this week, but at the same time, I'm like, do I just be done? If it's that much of a struggle, maybe the answer is yes. But let me just doodle for a bit, I guess. Hey. No, bad. Let's draw this lady. If it loads. This is just a random thing for a random project, but it's not even a project. It's just, well, it kind of is. I kind of want to do a like a webcomic, or not a webcomic, just like literally a, I don't know, a very short comic. But it's kind of like a trailer piece for a comic that probably will never exist. But you know how it is. We drawn. That's all I know. Kitten. Yeah, I'm telling you not to. Thank you. He just keeps attacking my curtains. No. I'm kind of like tempted to like keep everything more sketchy because I kind of want to just paint over everything, but I'm unsure. You know what I mean? Kind of got... I'm just going to keep it sketchy. I don't even care anymore. We'll add line art back in if we want it. I think this should be like tattered. Like, I'm trying to like find my style, you know, like, cause I have a few different styles, right? But I'm trying to kind of trying to find a new one for more realistic pieces. And part of it is, I think, is that I just have too thick of line art for something realistic. Which is fine, but... I got wraps on underneath her. I don't know. The design I'm not even sure about. Like, it's something I drew like forever ago. But I'm kind of sticking to it. Let's swap to art. Okay, her forearm here needs to be like wider and then taper in, I believe. I think her arm might also be too long. This might honestly just be a second sketch. To kind of define the stuff more. Saw a thing where a guy was like painting over his sketch. Of course, his sketch looked like way better than you know, my art as is. But he painted over the sketch to make the like the final piece, and he painted and did like bright yellow sketch, which was interesting because it showed through in the like the final art, which I think is interesting. Kind of big ponytail, you know what I mean? Guess she's wearing like big boots. I can't tell like how much to foreshorten stuff. That's like one of my problems with foreshortening is like I don't know how much I need to do it, you know? I guess it depends on like your imaginary lens, right? Her toe's like probably angled like that. Guess maybe comes out a little bit more. Yeah, this is 100% gonna be like a second sketch. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think she's. Ooh. Got the other half of her. Like skirt thing. This probably should be down farther. I think it might be interesting if it's more layered like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to do like a more detailed pose. It's not like something too crazy, but like I'm trying at least it to not look stiff. We'll see though. We'll see how I do. She's doing like, that's the back of her hand. She's like doing like one of these, like wiping the blood from her mouth. So her thumb should be on the bottom. right? Which means these are all fingers here. We're seeing all our... Which, I mean, her hands are, well, definitely too small, but it's also not quite the right position. You know what, one way to help you keep from making your... getting too precious with your art is what's happening right now. For me, I'm like, oh, I don't know, the line looks cool or whatever. Let's just pick a color. And then that way, your brain tells you it's not inked, so it's not permanent. It doesn't matter. Kind of hard to see, though. Pick a better color. There we go. Actually, I kind of want to do like an orange, just so my brain's thinking of the actual final colors. There we go. This was like one of the sketches I was like, it's pretty happy with it. But the more I render it, the less sure I am. And the more I fine tune it, I'm like, like kind of like a crown for a ponytail. But maybe I'm getting more sure again. I don't know. I might do some like eye references because I'm not sure these are. I'm not sure I'm feeling these. Maybe I am. I don't know. It's gonna be much more rendered. Yeah, here we are. That should kind of almost make sense if her like cheek was pushed up a bit here. She's kind of doing that. Maybe not so close to the eye here, but I don't really know how to do faces, let's be real. But I will try. I'm gonna need reference though, for sure. I like mouth. We'll figure that out later. I like a collar sort of thing. Choker is the word I would say I would use. There we go. I have like 3 perspectives going on with this thing. I'm gonna think that through for a second. I also want to have like stuff that's more detailed, like that makes more like logical sense. A lot of time when you like draw something like this, it ends up really flat looking, like a belt. So like really I should probably imagine it more 3-dimensionally, but that's kind of difficult. Arguably. Basically, there's like little loops that she hangs her axes in. She's like a human fighter. Although, I've been tempted to make her an elf. I don't know. Maybe I draw like an actual belt for once. I have like a huge belt buckle though. Not sure how I feel about that. It's not bad. Let's look at the belt. I think part of me like thinks I need to like get to the rendering phase to make everything look nice, but it's obviously not true. Like I need to get the sketch nice first. And this kind of, I guess this side, like one side goes behind the other part. I always get this wrong. All right, I'm feeling better. I don't mind her belt being big either, because she's supposed to be like a strong fighter type person. Although I kind of want to give her like more moon motifs. She's like uses gravity as her like her magic. The idea is in the world it's like each person has like an affinity for different types of magic. And hers happens to be gravity. I don't know if it's like powered by the moon, but I don't know. Unsure. We'll decide later. Do I have... some references here just for vibes. That's her old design. This was like forever ago that I made her. Very, very long ago. And then I had an updated one of her again. Then I did like her with, which I guess I don't really have anything below the neck there. I have a wrap around the arm. I also kind of want wraps as the arms rather than bracers. Like, either the idea for this panel is that it's either like much, they're unprepared or kind of battle worn already for whatever situation they're in. In this case, a dragon's attacking a town, but she's doing the protagonist thing and fighting anyway, you know? I'm trying to decide if the axe is facing like how I sort of have it drawn here, which doesn't really make sense. Her hand would be kind of like, I guess I should just base it off of how her hand would be, right? She's running, her hands, you know, fist clenched like here, right? Open of the hand is here. Axe would be, draw a circle, right? Kind of like a so. I guess the perspective's not horribly off. Just trying to draw it in like in a box shape so I can then define what it actually looks like. Oh, not quite on perspective, I don't think, but I really want, like, usually with a character, for them to like I don't want just a singular outfit for her. I'm kind of been drawing her in the same thing every time, partly because it's just like easier to do, but I also think it's more interesting to see characters evolve, and even if that, or like especially taking physical appearance changes too, right? Like to show how much the character has grown, I guess, right? That's one thing I really liked about, or like about, like My Hero Academia or something like that, is that the character very much evolves, right? And like very like like abilities, like magical abilities and something that are something that can be trained, right? And I think that's important. That's like the best thing that My Hero did, is that it really, or does, right? I guess it's not quite finished yet. Is the manga finished? I don't know. But either way, one of the best things it does is like how the characters grow. In my opinion. In my humble opinion. But yeah, I kind of want the same. Like, she, like, you know, like starting her weaker and she gets stronger as things go, right? So, like, I don't know exactly what form that takes, right? But like improving her magical abilities and stuff like that. I'm kind of just rambling here. Don't mind me, but like, I guess, yeah, I guess what I was kind of getting at is like, it's cool if the gear also evolves. And right now I really only have like one outfit for her. And like one set of weapons and all that, so. It'd be cool to do more with it. Clearly don't know how, like, kind of like the, like, sort of like Celtic design. Celtic pattern. I don't want to exactly be Celtic, but kind of like that idea. Some sort of cool, intricate pattern, right? Almost like knots. This is probably too much detail for the for this, but that's okay. For whatever we're calling this, because it's definitely not the line art or the line art, but it's something more than a sketch. Yeah, it's still a sketch, but and then she has like if we go back to our references here, this is like the most detail I got it. She's got like dragon skin as her sort of deal. Probably shouldn't pattern that in, but I'm just gonna do a rough sort of scribble in. Get the idea. Yeah, and then we'll do like actual factual stuff later. This is just to get the feeling of it. Maybe a bad idea. It's super not clean anymore, so let's undo it all. Because now I can't tell where my line art is. What's the chance that I can back up far enough? Good enough for me. Let's erase the rest. Let's detail our boots a bit. I guess they're not really, I would type in thigh-high boots, but they're more like, I mean, they're like knee-high. I kind of want them to have like, the stitching across the top. I guess maybe they're like folded over, like there's a fold here. There's probably like a bit of a heel. I think rather than doing laces all the way down, I do want a buckle here. These buckles are cool. I think her foot is too whatever and not long enough. Maybe? No, now it kind of looks like her ankle's broken. I never know how big to make hands. I always feel like I make them too small, but I also don't know, like, especially lady hands, you know? Like, I got big man hands, I don't know. I missed the other ad again. Well, I think we're probably gonna call it here soon. Because we went even longer than I thought I would, especially for being like, I think I might be done, but where's her thumb in this case? Yeah, it's on the inside of her body, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I made progress, I suppose. All right, y'all. I tried. I tried today. It wasn't a super entertaining stream, and I apologize for that, but here we are. You do what you can, you know? So let's find someone to raid. I'm feeling art. Just make sure there's no one I'm following that I'm like, I need to raid them. Not specifically. It's wild when I look for small or similar sides, like there's no one. And I really find that hard to believe. But maybe I'm just the bottom of the art channel. That would be sad. That would be sad. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you're just the very bitty bottom, you know? We're trying to find someone here. Sorry, my art didn't like look super interesting. If you're like looking at like a sketch, I don't know how much you're gonna be like, yeah, heck yeah, let me do that. Let me look at that mediocre sketch I'm looking at. Anyway, here we are. I'm being hard on myself. Not really. It's just interesting. Trying to find something that I'm like, this speaks to me, you know? I don't think anyone's waiting on me, so, you know, I don't mind. You can yell at me if you're waiting on me. I'm curious, if I go down farther, is it... I don't know how this sorts, honestly. Because I'm like, some of the things are really high, whatever, and some of them are very low. Oh, that's that person. Like, why does that person look familiar? I'm like, oh, the person I raided the other day, but they're just not making food and not art. I think that's them. I don't know, I'm lost. Let's do one look for TCG people. I know we're just hanging out here for a good while, but it's okay. We ain't doing nothing. This is the end of my day. I've been like on the hunt for people who are making their own games, and I've actually been finding a few, which feels good. I don't think I've found anyone now, though. Yeah, no luck. No such luck. All right, we're just going to find someone art-related and then go. Search lowest to high. Find someone else small. A small drawing friend. What am I looking at here? I have a tendency to be drawn to like the cute art. I was gonna say like this little cat, but their mic is off, which is fine, but man, I've been indecisive today, huh? I should end the stream. Alright, here's what we're doing. Little weird fire guy. I don't know what this is. We're going. Alright, y'all. I'll see you all on Monday. We'll probably be... I'm unable to raid someone at this time. Alright, well... we tried. We'll be doing stuff on I'm so annoyed. I was like, oh yeah, there we go, let's go, and then it just nope. We'll be back on Monday. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Maybe rulebook stuff, probably honestly armies stuff. Maybe do like a hot fix for armies, or potentially some playtesting, but I have some thoughts to some things to get through. So you know, here we are. Who be this? No. Honestly, we might just raid someone I already know. But I've come this far, you know. Now I have sunk cost fallacy. I feel like I need to raid someone new. We've literally been here for hours. been here for days. All right, screw it. We're just gonna raid PK. Yeah, we're gonna raid PK. Why not? All right, y'all. Catch y'all later. I'm too tired. I'll catch you. Yeah, Monday. All right, y'all. See ya.